albeit ad hoc or otherwise permanent, now apply the use of these PVCs in denying certain people voting time because of the time allotted. That's one. And program or plan for these PVCs not to work in some select states. These are areas we need the INEC chairman and INEC to make promises and assure us of, because Nigerians should note one thing. The PDP is in office today. The PDP government is in power today. We have used our office and our power to create enabling environment for free, fair, and credible elections in the past 2 years. We're willing to do that. However, we will not condone any attempt by anybody or any group to manipulate us out of power.
Just hold on, Chief Minister. Let me get back to the studio here. About that part where if the card readers are not able to read on the day, I think the chairman was talking about some other countries, I think Ghana, where he said about 10% of them or so came back the next day to wrap that up. Did the chairman of the commission speak with parties about this? What do you think of that?
Actually, when the issue arose, the question was, what happens if the card reader is faulty? And we asked him, and he said if the card reader is faulty, they ordered for redundancy, and that a card reader would be made available within the next 15 or 20 minutes, and voting will continue. And we all agreed. Somebody suggested, do we go manual because the card reader has failed or has been stolen? We all said no. We wait for as long as it will take for the card reader to arrive.
That's what everybody agreed?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think we're lost in there, but I just wanted to get his view on that. So if that were the case, Chief Metu, if the parties all agreed about that there will be no problems, just wait. But the thing is, nobody goes manual. We will stick with the card readers. Is there a problem with that?
We don't have any problem with that, but we need to correct something here. If INEC rules on an issue and the opposition party are basically happy with it, it does not represent the fact that all parties are happy with it. All parties have agreed on it. INEC is actually the body that decides. So we will go along with their decision. But let no impression be given that all the parties agreed to this. We have put our own objections and notifications in writing to INEC. And we do hope that they will address this. But by and large, we will work towards ensuring that this election becomes as free as possible. But let nobody manipulate us on that day or think that he can push PDP out of power. No, we want free elections. And we believe that Nigerians will demand and they deserve free elections for them to vote for candidates of their choice.
All right, just hang on, gentlemen. I'll come back and take you on the next matters, which were also spoken of today. Well, we'll go over now to Ayotunde Balogun. He's standing by with a look at the headline news this evening. Hello, Ayo.
Yes, Chamberlain, thank you very much. These are the headlines that at this moment, well, 4 million Nigerians are still being traced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, that's INEC, for prosecution over multiple registration. Now, INEC Chairman Professor Attahiru Jega, who briefed the Senate at its plenary today, also explained that only those with the permanent voter cards would be allowed to participate in the 2015 general elections. While demonstrating the use of the card reader to the senators, the INEC boss said it takes about 30 seconds for the card to be reconfigured at the polling units, and he gave assurances that the card reader is best for the 2015 elections. He says INEC is empowered by Section 16, subsection 4 of the Electoral Act to use the card readers for the polls. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it has now distributed over 75% of the permanent voter cards for registered voters across the country, leaving about 16 million voters who are yet to collect theirs. Now, the new figures released by INEC revealed that the umpire has given out 52,275,367 PVCs. That's out of the 68,833,476 voter cards. Now, a closer look at the list released by INEC shows that over 90% of voters in states like Zamfara, Nasarawa, Katsina, Jigawa, Kaduna, and Gombe have all collected their PVCs, while Lagos, Rivers, Oyo, and Borno still have about 30% of voters who are yet to collect their PVCs in each of those states. And as the military intensifies its bombardment of Boko Haram strongholds in the northeast, the coordinator of the National Information Center, Mr. Mike Omeri, has asked Nigerians to be more vigilant to intercepting fleeing members of the sect. Addressing journalists in Abuja, Mr. Omeri explained that some of the terrorists have been found to be engaging in menial jobs in order to ward off security operatives. He also confirmed the recapture of more towns in the northeast by Nigerian troops who are supported by the regional multinational force. And officials in Niger Republic say as many as 37 people have been killed in a military operation against Boko Haram in southern Niger. Now, Niger has been the target of bombings by Boko Haram in the past as the group widens its influence of terror. However, the people killed were civilians attending a funeral ceremony in the village of Abadam, which borders Nigeria. Now, an unidentified plane was said to have begun dropping bombs on them. The Nigerian military has since launched an offensive against the militants, one of the reasons the elections have been postponed. So there you have it. Those are the news headlines. Chamberlain is back to you now.
Well, thank you, Ayo. Getting back to this interview, what is your party's position on the temporary voter cards? Because you understand some cases have gone to court and they feel strongly about it.
You see, you remember that in 2011, when INEC conducted this nationwide registration exercise, they took all our fingerprints, and we were all surprised that the manual register was used for the 2011 elections, which meant that we could not use our biometrics to verify whether the card I was carrying was mine or not. I think it was the pressure that was put on INEC. INEC promised that come 2015, they would use biometrics for the election. Now, a TVC, a temporary voter's card, cannot be read by any card reader. There's no guarantee that the TVC I'm holding is mine. If I bring in 10, 20 TVCs now and distribute them to people, if there's enough collusion between the agents and the INEC officials and all the stakeholders, those TVCs can be used. Now, the important thing about the PVCs is that when complemented with the card reader, it's able to make sure that you cannot vote twice, and you cannot use another person's, card. Going back to TVCs now would be ridiculous. One, like Professor Jega has mentioned, the electoral guidelines says we must use the PVCs with card readers. But look at how impracticable it is now. I surrendered my TVC, being able to collect my PVC. If you want us now to go and vote with the TVC, am I going to go back to my polling unit and ask for my TVC and then surrender again my PVC? No, I don't think it makes sense that we should go and use our TVCs.
Okay. Chief Metu, let me get your view as well on this matter. What's your party's position on the use of the TVCs for the elections?
Well, it is that the distinction between TVCs and PVCs and our thoughts on this matter is not really so important. What is important is the law. The Constitution and the Electoral Act stipulates that we cannot use electronic voting. The use of the PVC has been shown not to be electronic voting. It's about accreditation. And all the stakeholders, stakeholders concerned have stated